In this episode we have two stories, one about two brothers that have been jailed for converting firearms and creating ammunition, and two brothers who wanted to go and fight for ISIS abroad and commit attacks. Birmingham police have released the footage of the moment that they arrested Tony Graham at gunpoint, and he was the person that was responsible for supplying firearms and ammunition alongside his brother Simon Graham, who acted as a courier for the firearms.
Come to the door now! Hands in the air! Stand still! Stand still! Turn around! Turn! Hands on your head! Hands on your head! Who's it, Tom? You in the back room! Stand still! Stay still! Stand still! I can't see. What's your first name, Bart? What's your first name? Right, you! The windows. Open it! Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Get out! You got cooks? Yeah.
It was heard in court that he bought obsolete calibre guns that were legal but were intended for collectors, and they fired ammunition that was no longer created, and he bought a kit from a foreign website that allowed him to have the tools to make bullets for those antique firearms. They said they couldn't be certain how many firearms he bought, but they said that he made inquiries with over 100 online retailers.
I'll find it.
The prosecution said that Tony would get Simon to courier the bullets to other people who already had access to firearms that were capable of firing them. Two cousins called Bernard and Tony Stokes were customers of the Graham brothers, and they have also been convicted. They travelled from Basildon in Essex to Rubery on the 14th of June 2021 to buy ammunition for an obsolete calibre weapon. But following a surveillance operation by the police, they were stopped in Wembley later the same day at gunpoint, and in their car they found two machetes, a knife and 4 bullets wrapped in cling film. Simon and Tony's DNA were both found on the gloves, and Simon's was found on the bullets. The investigation also found that Simon Graham supplied a gun that was seized from a gang in a BMW in Kings Norton on the 13th of May 2021. We covered this story on the channel, and we showed the moment the NCA officers actually seized it and arrested everybody involved. And on the 17th of June, the police raided Simon Graham's house in Rubery and also found bullets inside a jar.
Get on the floor! On the floor!
Put your hands in the air. Get out! Stay there. Keep them there. Do not make any sudden moves. Do you understand?
Okay. Down. Any more in there? Get out! Get out! On the floor. Stay there. On your belly. On your belly. On your front. Belly. Put your hands behind your back. Hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
Got a taser pointed at you.
Sorry.
Do not move.
During the arrest, the police found a handgun, ammunition, knives and a sledgehammer. On August the 6th, 2021, they recovered a loaded firearm that had been converted from a blank firer to a live firer, and it was found by a police dog that had sniffed it out, and it was dumped by Bailey McElroy. Tony Graham had supplied him with that firearm, and he was spotted by police and chased, and it was later recovered. Tony Graham, 40 years old, admitted possession of a firearm on 4 charges of selling or transferring ammunition. He was jailed for 8 years and 1 month earlier this year. Simon Graham, 39, from Rubery, was jailed for selling ammunition, 4 charges of that, and he got 5 years and 6 months. Bernard Stokes, 33, from Essex, and Tony Stokes, of no fixed abode, both admitted possession of ammunition and were each jailed for 2 years, but this was suspended for 21 months. Bailey McElroy, 19 years old, from Rednall, was found guilty of possession of a firearm and ammunition and was jailed yesterday on the 24th of November for 3 years. Detective Inspector Patel from Roku said, Tony Graham was a trusted supplier of ammunition, with people willing to travel across the country to buy bullets from him. He had a real interest in firearms and a determination to profit from the sale within the criminal underworld. The extent of this operation and the number of weapons and bullets that were involved is not very clear, but what we do know is that we dismantled an operation, and this is a major blow to organised crime in the West Midlands and beyond. And this story is also a good example of when people say, how do people get firearms in the UK when they're illegal? How do they get ammunition? And this is an example of sometimes it's old antique firearms that are reactivated, or blank firers that are bought legally and then converted, and ammunition that is literally made or converted from ammunition that fires blanks. So I really look forward to hearing what viewers have to say on that story. Please don't forget to comment below. In some other news too, Birmingham brothers have been jailed today for terrorism offences. Mohammed Abdul Khan and Mohammed Haider Khan admitted engaging in conduct in preparation for terrorism under the Section 5 of the Terrorism Act that was made law in 2006. Khan, 21 years old, was jailed for 10 years and his 18-year-old brother was jailed for 8 years. The pair, both from Ward End in Birmingham, were arrested on the 2nd of November by detectives from the terrorism police. And the jury at Birmingham Crown Court heard the brothers had been radicalised throughout 2022 and they prepared to travel to Afghanistan to take part and join ISIS. They bought clothing and equipment, researched how to travel to Afghanistan and also completed application forms to join Daesh. Mark Payne from the counter-terrorism unit said the brothers radicalised each other and they worked together to plan and prepare to travel to Afghanistan. They filled in the application form to join Islamic State, and the weight of the evidence against them means that they have been convicted today. So I really look forward to hearing people's views on these stories, and don't forget to share and comment below. This really does help the channel to get noticed. I really appreciate you joining me today. I'll be back again very shortly with some more news. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. Peace.
Any words before we go off into battle, Halim? So this is his last videotape. His words to the enemies of Allah and to his family.
Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel.
Subhanallah. Takbir. Allahu Akbar.
The Khan brothers were preparing to travel to Afghanistan and potentially on into the wider area in order to commit terrorist atrocities, working alongside Islamic State. They had undertaken extensive preparation, they had learned other languages, they had purchased equipment, they had made contact with people in the area, they had acquired travel documentation. It's really clear that they intended to travel, and it's really clear that when they had got there, they were intending to work with the Islamic State in order to commit terrorist acts.
I wonder what fruits I get there.
You can. I want to show you this when you're sitting there eating bread and oil, bread and water, yeah, living in comfort. You're sacrificing this for jihad.
So it's my view that they were extremely dangerous. They'd gone from talking about terrorism to sharing material, extremist material. They had sort of had a radicalising effect on each other, and that made them a real risk.
Late night winter workout, yeah? Future Mujahideen. In the training camp, Future Mujahid. Let's see if we can do a pull-up now.
Tired. I'm exhausted.
They had gone beyond just preparing, they were actually packing their bags, they had bought the equipment to travel, they had obtained travel documentation. They were very clearly intent on travelling abroad to commit terrorist acts. I'm certain that had they done so, they would have posed a real significant risk to the general public. One of the features that we are seeing is that young people who might have been exposed to extremist material whilst locked down during COVID, when they emerge, we've had a number of occasions where we've seen really troubling behaviour. The Khan brothers are a classic example of that. They have become radicalised. They have been a radicalising influence on each other, and they've gone from that radicalising mindset to a position of actually preparing to undertake travel to commit terrorist acts.